Hey there, Wes Dove here with Dove Development and Consulting. I'm super excited. We are now just 13 days away from the release of What's Killing Your Profitability. Been talking about it a lot. Cindy's done a tremendous job keeping it visible in our social media feed and a lot of different things. We've had some pretty remarkable results. The results I was never expecting in the process. We've hit the #1 bestseller on Amazon with the pre-order phase already. 3 different times. The first time we hit #1 in 2 categories and #2 in a third. The last 2 times it's been #1 in a category and #2 and I think number 10 or 11 in the third categories. But it's been pretty stinking remarkable, and I just didn't expect that. The hard copies, we've got paperbacks already. We're preparing for a launch event here locally in the Harrisonburg area. Love to have you with us with that. And we've got just a bunch of different stuff going on. So in the comments, I wanted to address something today. We started this process a few days ago by sharing the idea of the book, some of the different pieces, some of the different areas, and more high level. Today, I want to go into something specific, and I want to make sure I'm sharing the screen appropriately. So I'm going to be looking around, looking at some different tools I've got on my end with it. But what we're going to look at today with the idea, and you see running across the ticker at the bottom is the tiny URL I've created that you can still get access to the 99-cent ebook that's available while it's on a pre-order. In that same page, there's links to register for the launch celebration event that we've got coming up. $25 includes the cost of lunch and food and drink and whatnot, and a signed paperback copy of the book. We've got some other things on the page now as well. Some of the pictures from the Amazon screenshots and some different things, but also the opportunity, if you can't make it to us, to be with us on the registration day. You can pre-order, and we'll be shipping those as soon as we have the availability, the hardback copies that are signed, as well as the paperback. We've got those. We've got to do the launch event first, but then we'll be shipping them and getting those out pretty quickly as well. Those will be available on Amazon starting February 20th, but the hardbacks have about a 6 to 7 week lead time. For whatever reason, the paperbacks are fall under Prime. So if you want one from Amazon, God bless you, that's okay. You can get it there. But if you order it directly from us, we'll be able to send it to you signed and so on and so forth. So with that said, let's take a look today at the idea of how poor leadership kills profitability. So I want to share several years ago, I've talked about this a number of different times. I've got a buddy that's was a CEO of a local company, and he calls and says, hey, the board tells me that I've got to focus on relationships. His words were, I don't have time for that touchy-feely stuff. They pay me to get results. Here's the thing. Touchy-feely is not a real thing. Leadership is tangible. And I really stress as we cover the impact of how it really does all start at the top. Leadership matters to our bottom lines. And I want to share a couple stats with you right quick. One of the things I found, and I go into more detail in the chapter, it all starts at the top. I think it's chapter number 3. Go into more detail on this. I found an article from Forbes. It was called Leadership and What It's Costed Your Business. And it shared that poor leadership is a financial cost. When you have poor leadership in management positions, it not only affects the morale of your business and productivity of your team, but also the bottom line in your business. Your profit line suffers from poor leadership. Now, I want you to consider it this way. How have you individually, in the roles that you've had, perform differently under good leadership or poor management? I stress poor management because if it's leadership, it shouldn't be poor. We should really be responding to it, engaged to it, and so on. Now, I've often, when I was an HR guy, when I'm working in large manufacturing companies or even small companies in construction and mining and all the companies that we support today, I talk a lot about the idea of employee engagement. That's actually a chapter, but I want to give you an idea of how great leadership earns that engagement and how much it matters. There's an article that I reference throughout the book, throughout What's Killing Your Profitability, a number of different times. It's from the Harvard Business Review. It's called Things That They Do for Love. I don't remember off the top of my head the author's last name. I'll reference it some other time, I'm sure. It said company leaders won't be surprised that employee engagement, the extent to which workers commit to something or someone in their organizations, influences performance and retention, but they may be surprised by how much engagement matters. It goes on to say increased commitment can lead to a 57% improvement in discretionary effort. That is, the employee's willingness to exceed the call of duty. That greater effort, get this, produces on average a 20% individual performance improvement and an 87% reduction in the desire to pull up stakes, according to the Corporate Leadership Council, which surveyed more than 50,000 employees in more than 59 organizations worldwide. Now, here's where it gets pretty cool. Again, think about that, how it relates to you in different roles that you've had in your career, whether you're reporting to somebody that you look at and say, hey, that's a fantastic leader. I'm excited about working for them. I can really buy in. And you give that additional discretionary effort versus, even for the best of us, even the most committed, even the most hardworking and enthusiastic folks among us, versus the folks when we're just working for that person that's a dictator kind of manager, that we're thinking, gosh, this sucks. And as soon as I find a better opportunity, I'm going to it. Think about how you performed in that. I would guess that you still did what you're required, but did it get that discretionary effort? And unequivocally, I'll say that folks that I speak with say, no, I didn't get that extra discretionary effort. I did what I was required. I still fulfilled my role, but I didn't produce the extra. And that extra is where poor leadership can absolutely kill profitability. If we don't have effective leadership in place, we're missing so much of that discretionary effort. And if in a role where we're getting the minimums, the bare bones, this is what is absolutely necessary to be successful. If we're not getting that discretionary, that's where the profitability comes in. That's where we're not just meeting expectations, we're exceeding them. We're not just covering costs, we're beating the market. We're doing all these things that really drive performance. And leadership is not intangible. It's not soft. It's not something that's nice to have. It's not touchy-feely. It's something we've stinking got to have in every organization if we're going to get the profitability we're truly capable of that impacts our own lives, our own roles, our teams, and the communities that we serve. That's all I'm going to share for now. We'll pick this back up another day in the coming few days, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, but we'll touch on some more of the different things that we look at in what's killing your profitability and how it all really does boil down to leadership. I hope this serves you well. Gosh, I'd encourage you to snag the ebook, be part of what we're doing with I think I shared before, it's hit #1 top new release in 7 different categories on Amazon, and #4 in an 8th. Again, #1, #1, and #2 in the 3 categories it's functionally listed in. I've got, when I set it up, I had to list it in different categories. So it's had some initial success. Let's keep that going. Thanks for your support in the process. I hope this serves you well. Most importantly, I hope this helps you capture that profitability in your organization to really make a difference in the teams that you lead and the communities you're part of. Make it a great day. We'll see you soon, and God bless.